I'm joined by the Vice Chair of the Athletes Commission, Sharad Kamal, with me. Sharad, thank you very much. And not often we get to interview you here. Tell us, what does the resolution of this dispute really now mean to the, India's bid for 2030, 2036?
I think looking beyond India's bid, I think it's very important for all of us to come together and have this movement going forward. To have that, to build in that structure and system where the athlete it becomes very athlete centric, especially IOA follows the International Olympic Committee's charter, where it all runs around the athlete, to have them in the center of it and have their representation, have workshops, and make sure that leadership movements are things are done from the athletes. I think that is something which is very, very important that we can showcase in the next year. Suppose you get the Olympic Games in 2036, it might come or it might not come. We are not very sure. But all that we can be sure of is having that structure where all the sporting bodies, let's say the Indian Olympic Association, or it can be the Sports Authority of India, or any other NSFs or down below. I think it's very important to have the athlete in mind when you make the policies, and make sure that sport in India is grown, by which India becomes a strong sporting nation.
Let me ask you, Sharad, how did the truce come about? I mean, was there an intervention from the government? How did everything?
I think there has been a lot of talk that's been going on, especially since Raghu has always been there. Raghu, the CEO, has been there. He came into the Paris Olympic Games and everything, but somehow we could not sit on one table. Everything was spoken individually, and I think today, after a very long time, we had the first EC meeting.
In 3.5 years, first EC meeting?
Not 3.5 years. I think the last EC meeting was 1.5 years ago. In 2024, early 2024, we had our EC meetings, and I think the major follow was about Raghu Ayer's his appointment. But I think now that's been cleared, and the train of action has been clearly defined on who does what. I think committees have been formed. Committees were formed before, but then it will be more and more active now. So I hope through all of this, for me, the best thing is to have that athlete commission active and make sure.
What is your primary task now, Sharad, that the athlete commission is active?
Exactly.
Tell me your first 3 things that you need to do.
Yes, most importantly, I think most importantly, to have workshops, education for the athletes. So let's say let it be topics on anti-doping, let it be topics on mental well-being, let it be topics on handling media and handling their own social media, because kids these days are into all of this. So I think these are certain topics which we feel like we need to address it, and it can go down to the grassroots in a lot of ways, which I recently learned from the recent athlete forum, IOC athlete forum that happened in June. We were in Lausanne there, and we could figure out, okay, these are multiple channels that can be used to make sure that the athletes are reached, they are educated, and at the same time, if they have a concern or they have some representation that has to be done, this is the channel through which we can get it right.
Sharad, you mentioned about anti-doping. We know last time when there was an athletes meet in Delhi, most of the runners ran away because they knew the anti-doping guys were coming there to test. The one guy who was there, he also failed to dope. Now, how do you reach to the lowest strata of athletes who are now caught in this dope net? And we all know, as much as you know, I also know, in various sports hostels, how easily things are available.
Again, see, the thing is, it has always been that if I'm, as an athlete, if I'm caught in doping, I would be punished, but somebody would be giving that to me, right? So with the new sports bill, the coach and the entire organization that's around that who's been facilitating to get the dope will be under the radar. They will be punished. So, and only by this will we be able to curb the supply of, let's say, the doping. Of course, there are a lot of companies, a lot of people, a lot of organizations keep saying, yeah, this will enhance your performance. Of course, I don't know what's in there exactly. I don't know. But then I think now with the sports bill that's coming in, there will be clear guidelines on what can be given, what are given, and most importantly, it's the education for the athletes. So I think that is something where we will have to work in the right direction, because again we saw that the IOC has nearly 12 different modules on the anti-doping videos, but all of them are in English. So we are trying to translate that into 22 different regional languages and make sure that it's being pushed down into the grassroots level. So for us, the best platform would be the Khelo India championships, or even below that. So that is how we're trying to get down to the grassroots level and educate these people.
One last question. Your transition from being a top level athlete to a top rung administrator has been quite smooth, or I don't know if it has been smooth. Tell us a little bit about it, and because someone like you also acts as a role model to show the others how sporting transitions can be made. So tell us a little bit about it, and what kind of message would you like to give to the generation next who are looking at a career like yours and then transitioning into a space where they can give back to the system?
So I would agree with the fact that the top rung athlete, but top rung administrator, I'm not
well,
there
you'll
yet.
get there.
Yeah, but it's a good experience. It's been a fantastic experience for me at the Indian Olympic Association and also at the International Table Tennis Federation, where I represent the athletes. There, sitting on the board meetings, getting to understand the nuances of administration. Of course, I've always thought as an athlete. So a lot of things. Why can't we have this? Why can't we do that? Why can't we do this? But then now I'm getting to understand. Okay, why can't that be done? And thinking from the administrative side, thinking from the business angle of it, and how we can bridge that gap. I think personally for me, I've been very lucky in having this transition. But again, I think most athletes have to think about that also. Many times we try to reach our goal, we just focus on that, but we're not looking beyond what after the playing years. So I think a lot of possibilities coming up now. Sport is becoming more and more professional, the field of sport, and there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of avenues that are coming up. So all that I would tell the youngsters is, yes, of course we need to focus on the sport, focus on winning medals, but at the same time keep a small sight on what are you going to do post playing this.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you.